Someone had been inside the building with meal long enough to leave fresh footprints and dust that had indeed been disturbed in decades. I've always been drawn to abandoned places. Old buildings feel frozen in time, like they're holding their breath. This one sat at the edge of town, a former rehabilitation center that shut down in the late 90s after a fire damaged part of the upper floors. Officially, it was condemned. Unofficially, everyone knew kids broke in all the time. I went alone, just before sunset. The exterior looked hollowed out, windows dark and broken like missing teeth. Weeds pushed through cracks in the pavement, and a rusted chain hung loose on the front doors. When I stepped inside, the temperature dropped immediately. The air smelled like mold, old paper, and something faintly metallic. Every sound echoed my footsteps, my breathing, even the rustle of my jacket. The lobby was wide and bare, with a collapsed ceiling in one corner and water stains crawling down the walls. I told myself it was just another empty structure. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that the building was listening. Started exploring the lower floors, shining my flashlight into old offices and treatment rooms. Most were stripped clean, but a few still had furniture shoved against the walls. In one room, I found a wheelchair tipped over on its side, its rubber handles cracked with age. The dust around it was thick and undisturbed. That's what made the footprints stand out. They weren't mine. Too large, too deliberate. They led from the hallway into one of the stairwells. I stood there longer than I should have, listening. The building creaked softly, settling as the sun went down. Somewhere above me, something scraped. Slowly, I told myself it was an animal. Raccoon, bird, anything but what my mind was suggesting. Against better judgment, I followed the footprints. The stairwell smelled worse than the rest of the building, damp and sour. The metal railing was cold and slightly wet under my hand. As I climbed, my flashlight flickered, dimming just enough to make the shadows stretch. The second floor was worse. Fire damage had blackened the walls, and the floor crunched beneath my boots with every step. I noticed then that the footprints continued clearer here, pressed into soot and ash. They led down the hallway. Halfway down, I heard it. Footsteps, not echoes, not settling. Footsteps matching mine, stopping when I stopped. I turned around, heart hammering, and aimed my light back toward the stairwell. Nothing, just darkness and peeling paint. "Hello?" I called out, immediately regretting it. No answer. But when I turned back around, the footprints had changed direction. They were facing me now. A chill ran through my arms. I backed up slowly, every instinct screaming at me to leave. That's when I heard a door creak open at the far end of the hallway. The sound was slow, intentional. I ran. The stairwell door slammed shut behind me as I burst through it, the noise echoing violently. I took the steps two at a time, nearly slipping on the damp concrete. Somewhere above, something began to descend, heavy, unhurried footsteps following the same path I'd taken. I didn't look back. When I reached the lobby, the front doors were no longer open. The chain that had been hanging loose was now wrapped tightly through the handles. My breath came fast and shallow. I rattled the doors, panic rising, when I heard a voice behind me. Low, calm, close. "You shouldn't be here this late," I spun around. A man stood near the center of the lobby, partially lit by my flashlight. His clothes were dusty, outdated. His face was pale, eyes sunken like he hadn't slept in years. I demanded to know how he got inside. He tilted his head slightly, confused. "This is my floor," he said. "They told me not to leave it." I noticed then that his feet didn't quite touch the ground. Just enough space to make my stomach drop. The lights flickered. The air grew colder. I don't remember unlocking the chain. I don't remember running. I just remember being outside, gasping, the building silent behind me. I went to the police the next day. They told me no one had been inside that building in years. But when I checked my boots, there was ash on the soles. And mixed with it, fresh footprints that weren't mine.